Okay? This bar on the very left side is all players in your birth year. Okay, so 22,000 players. And then, generally speaking, you guys are in one of these two boxes right now. Right? So these are all the guys in your birth year. The guys in this room are in one of these two boxes. Okay? And those of you that aspire to be in the NHL, the box barely shows up. It represents less than 1/10 of 1%. Okay? That's what you're asking to do. You're truly trying to be exceptional. Okay, just for those of you that like numbers and stuff, the guys who tried to be astronauts and ended up on the moon, there are more guys playing in the NHL, or fewer guys playing in the NHL as a percentage basis. There's lots of guys trying to play hockey, right? Does that make sense? And that's what I'm saying, how difficult it is of the tasks that you're trying to perform. So the question becomes, right, like, man, if I want to go do all of this, how do I, as a hockey player, how do I figure out what I do? Right? Because lots of guys are telling you different things. What kind of people? Where do you guys hear about which teams you should play on next? Some guys give me sources. Where do you hear about it? Anybody? Go. Yes. Coaches, one. Who else? Parents. Parents, two. What else? Sorry? Other players, three. Really good. How do you hear it from other players? Okay, you see it on Instagram, you see it on Twitter, you see it on TikTok, right? Oh man, I'm committed. You see lots of those, almost to the point where you're like, man, a lot of guys are committed. I don't think there's that many colleges. So what does that mean? Right? And how do you choose? And it's different for everybody. So if it looks like this, how do I really decide what to do? Okay? So going forward, I really want you to put away the thought that I'm going to go to the place of the teams that win, or the teams that have the most letters after them, right? Oh, well, that team's triple A. It's okay, I'm quad A. Okay. Oh, I'm double A. Oh, I've got so many A's, we have more letters in the alphabet, and that's where I should go. That's not what matters. Okay? So the first thing that's on your list, and why you're getting exposed to what we call quality development in this camp, is the first thing you've got to look at as a player is I got to go someplace where they're going to help me be better all the way around. Right? That presentation from last night. Who's going to care about helping me fine-tune my way of development and make me be responsible for my own development and give me that opportunity? Hockey skills, mental skills, off-ice skills, academic skills, all of that. Where does that happen? That's number one. Okay, quality of development. And did I say that is equal as wins and losses? Right? It is not, right? Because, like, I'll give an example. So let's take Johnny Gaudreau. You guys know who that is? Okay, where does he play? Okay, and are they shameful? Yeah, Calgary Shames, right? They like the people in Calgary call them. In the year that he was drafted, okay, he could have gone to Chicago. That year they won the Stanley Cup. And I think he could have gone to Toronto. I can't remember. Okay, now imagine Johnny Gaudreau, who's under 6 feet and soaking wet, 150 pounds. If that kid goes to Chicago that year, does he play much? No. Why not?
Because
they're pretty good. There are a lot of good guys on that team, right? There's Jonathan Toews, there's Zach Kane, and is Gaudreau a bad player? But he goes to Calgary, and what happens? He plays a lot. He plays in every situation. He's a top 6 scorer, plays on power play, plays on PK. Probably played at net that year because they were so bad, right? And so that's quality development for him, and that has happened for him, right? So in a way, being drafted in Calgary was a good thing for John, right? But you guys get something unique. You get to choose. He doesn't get to choose where he gets drafted. Does that make sense? And again, quality development. Number 2 is this idea of quality of coach. Right? So again, this week you're going to be around a lot of guys who've been in this game a long time. Good players, they're good coaches, they understand the process of development. So you've got to find a coach who really works with you and fits with you. Right? right? Is this understanding, is this coach really going to work with me and work with my teammates? And again, these two things are generally highly related. Does that coach emphasize winning, or does he emphasize development? And those two things are not necessarily in line. Like coaches will say, oh yeah, we're into development. Then he gets into a game, the top 6 forwards play the whole time. That's not necessarily quality development. Does he have my development long-term in mind? Or is it just worried about what happens tomorrow? And the really good coaches, they worry about things long-term. Right? Because yesterday, what did we say about where you are? You're at the very beginning. The very, very beginning. Okay, and the plan for you is about 6 years. 6 to 8 years right now, before now and your potential, pro aspirations. Okay? The next thing is this idea of personality fit, and it's a big deal. Right? How many of you guys have ever played with a coach, or maybe you've been with a team manager that it doesn't quite fit, you guys don't get along? Raise your hands. Okay? And they were good people, and they know what they're doing, they meet the first 2 criteria, and they have good quality development, it's a good quality coach, but man, that personality doesn't just work. You've got to find a way to make sure that you understand the way you communicate, the way they communicate with you, right? The way things work, that personality fit matters, right? So, and a lot of it is rooted in science, is you guys are growing and you're changing physically. Like, look at this camp. We're all within 1 year of each other. Birth year, right? Physical, like biological age within 1 year of each other. And look at the size difference. And that won't be true in 2.5 years, guarantee it. Those of you who are 6'2", right? I think there's a 6'3" person in camp, right? And I'm certain there's a 5'6" one under 100 pounds. 2.5 years from now, that's going to change. But you change physically, you change mentally, you change emotionally. So that makes a difference in the personality fit. And again, I didn't say anything about winning. Right? I just said make sure you find a place where that personality fits you. Right? Maybe you're a kid who likes to get screamed at. Okay, that works for you, right? Maybe you're a kid who really needs someone who's more of an effective communicator. That's good. Make those evaluations, because that's going to be what's good for you. Next one, this is a big one, and no knock on Dallas, but it is friggin' hot, and it is very humid here. Not for me, right? I'm from Oregon. It rains all the time. Not for you, possibly, right? Think about location. Think about environment. There are lots of guys who might want to play in Fairbanks, Alaska, and end up in the NHL. Does anyone know who that is? Plays for St. Louis? Defenseman?
Parayko?
Yeah, Colton Parayko, right? Alberta kid, grew up on a farm, could probably play anywhere in the NCAA, but he chose to go to Fairbanks because it fit for him. It was a good location. It was a little bit small. It was a little bit cold. It was his thing. Was that pretty good for him? Yes. Right? Maybe he doesn't fit at Denver. Maybe he doesn't fit at North Dakota. But he fits at a UAF. And those choices are going to be true through all of your choices for playing hockey, especially as you leave Utah. Okay, so think about that. And how does that location, how does that environment, the people that you're going to live with, the places that you're going to shop, right? The traffic that you're going to be in, all of that, making sure that emotionally that helps for you. Right? Playing time. What they say about playing time? What matters?
Development.
Yeah, and if you're going to develop, what do you need? You need to play. Don't go to a place and say, hey, come play for me and be the freaking 12th forward on a team. Move down a spot and play all the time. That matters. Okay, do you think Johnny Gaudreau wants a Stanley Cup? Sure, he does. But he also knows that the more he plays, the better he's going to get. And that's important. And not everybody plays in the National Hockey League at 17, 18. And I will tell you, that is an absolute exception to the rule. For guys to be drafted and playing in their first year, you are a total freak of nature. The Eichels, the Cole Caulfields, and even Caulfield played in college first, right? They are very, very rare. Okay, so don't get enticed by what you see on Instagram and what you see on TV and be like, man, that's normal. I will tell you, those guys are freaks of nature. Okay, it is way more normal to take a longer path all the way to professional hockey. Okay, so again, it's playing time. Okay, and then the big one for you guys, and only you guys know, is where am I at mentally and physically, right? And I always, when parents ask me, what should I do with my kid? Should I send him off and go billet somewhere, right, for a team that's maybe not a prep school? And I always ask them, do you want someone else raising your kid at 14, at 15? Because mental and physical maturity really matters. Are you the kind of kid who wakes up, makes his bed, gets his breakfast, gets ready for school, heads off, comes home, does his homework, maybe finishes half, gets to practice, comes back, finishes homework, goes to sleep, stays off the computer, and gets ready for the next day? That's pretty freaking mature. There aren't many of us. Okay, so maybe that kid is ready to leave home at an early age. I'm going to guess most of you don't fit that particular description I just made. Okay, so that means maybe you do need to be home for a little bit longer, be responsible for your own development, get the help from all these people in this room who you call your parents, and make sure that you're more physically and mentally mature, before you head off someplace. Right? It's not always about going to the next place, because if you go to the next place, you play another team, and you're not here, right? You're not going to be ready for that task, and your hockey's going to suck. Okay, and the last one on that list is this idea of educational maturity. Remember yesterday we said academic success is a real big part of your own success, right? Because it allows you to make choices going into the future. The better your grades, the better you do in school, the more choices you will have in the future. I'm going to say that again. The better you are in school, the better your grades, the more choices you will have in the future. And that goes for hockey as well. And I'll give you an example. Scholarships. How many of you guys want to play college hockey? Raise your hands. Okay, awesome. Hands down. Right? How many of you guys want a full scholarship? Raise your hand. Okay, good. That's pretty smart. Have somebody else pay for your education. That's pretty smart. However, if you're a 4.0 student, you're taking AP classes, and you can get an academic scholarship at UND, and you go to the coach, and he knows you can get an academic full ride scholarship at UND, and that's between you and the other guy who's kind of an idiot, and he has to give up one of his athletic scholarships to acquire you. What might he choose because you're academically very capable? The smart dude, because it saves him $250,000. And now he's got options, and you just found a spot. Not to mention that in the Ivy Leagues, Ivy League Division I schools, are scholarships available? Athletic scholarships? No. Right? So if you want to have the most options to play, then doing well in school is going to serve you very well. Never mind that in life you're going to need it. I know you guys don't understand that now, but you will. Okay? So be careful about reading that stuff on Instagram. Like, dude, I got a name. I don't have to worry about school. None of that is true. Right? Some of your coaches that are here, they play pro. Talk to them about it. Ask them if they've got the experience. Okay? So these are it. These are the things to look for when you guys are thinking about choice. Right? Quality of development, quality of coach, personality fit, location, playing time, mental and physical maturity, educational maturity. Right? Those are the things that you're looking for. So again, this is where you guys are now.